Right. And for we may have folks who are non-workday, just letting everybody know. Some friends showed some interest, so I thought it would be good to have them, since this is a topic that hopefully everybody is interested in. So we are at 3 minutes past, and I have a lot of content, so I think I'm going to get started. If you can hold your questions till the end, because like I said, I have a lot of content, and it might be that um the content might answer your questions. So I'm happy to stay on after the call, and if you have time, or answer the questions if we have time before we end the call. So with that, all right. So the topic today is recycle, but there's also a few other things after towards the end, which how you can reduce your trash, your carbon footprint in general. And this is a journey that I started about 4 months now. So I'm new to this, and the whole point is that if I could do this in a couple of months, most of us can. I mean, I was nowhere near to the levels that I'm at now. And it is thanks to this group of volunteers that I joined here in North Fulton, mainly South Forsyth, called Green Cell. And I'll talk a little bit about them also. Um, all right. So why do this? So this is a very simple way of looking at things. Everybody knows about trash. Everybody knows about carbon emissions and all of that. The reality is that everybody's we're generally born with a 5 to 10 pound weight, and then by the time it's all said and done, I would leave 150,000 pounds on this planet. Assuming I live 80 years, I hope I do. But and this is based on EPA's estimate of about 5 pounds per day per person. And all of this results into carbon dioxide, methane, all kinds of gases. So it's not that it just goes into the landfill and it's all fine. That's the part of it. Everybody talks about their vehicle emissions and other emissions like that, but your trash is also a very, very large contributor to the greenhouse gas problem. So how do we do this, right? And can anything be done? So this is me. This is our trash can. This is what I used to do. The one on the left is we used to change this 3 times a week, 13-gallon bags, family of four, everybody's home, with COVID and whatnot. And we've gone from there to the what you see on the right, which is half empty usually by the end of the week. So that's in about 2 months, and I'm spending maybe 2 3 hours per week extra. So that is really all it takes. And now everybody doesn't have to get to this stage, may not be interested in getting to the stage. So what I'm trying to do is I'll give you some ways, and you take the path and do whatever you can. That's sort of the idea today. So all right. So how do we do this? So recycling, and I'm going to focus mainly on the non inorganic recycling, which is what you see on the left. I'll touch very briefly on organic, and it's actually very important. And I have a couple of slides on that. And but today's focus is on the inorganic or non-organic, whatever the term is. It's mainly your paper, glass, plastic, metal. Most people know they want to do this. They do this some way or in some manner. Sometimes it's wrong. I was doing so many things wrong that it was incredible to when I started paying attention and started listening to people doing some research and all that, to find out all the stuff that I was doing wrong. And that's basically what it is. That and I'm still doing it wrong. It's not, I'm sure there is some mistakes, right? So that's the whole point, that to share what I've learned. This is going to be mainly focused for Atlanta. I don't know if anybody has joined from outside Atlanta. Recycling is very, very local. It's not only local to Atlanta, it is very local to where you live, your zip code. So what I live in Alpharetta, in the city limits of Alpharetta. So what the services I have in Alpharetta are not the same as what you will see in Johns Creek or Decatur or other parts of Fulton or Forsyth or anything like that. So yeah, but this is fairly generic. Most of this will be useful, and then you'll have to tweak it based on your individual location. So I looked at this as a sort of a 5-step process. That's what I've gone through. I used to do curbside recycling. Most of it was wrong. I used to do some grocery store. I use Publix for grocery store drop off. A lot of that was wrong. I had no idea about this Center for Hard to Recycle Materials. Hefty is a new program that just started, the energy bag. And then the TerraCycle, I had never heard of them. So that's where I'm coming from in about two months or so, right? So and then don't worry about taking notes. This deck is online. It will be public. There are lots of good resources, links, all that kind of stuff. And at the end, I want to leave you with a little cheat sheet that will hopefully help you do this better. So starting with curbside, so we're going to go through this stepping steps here. And starting with curbside, we all know metal needs to go in. You can put metal in most curbside bins. Uh, the key thing here is don't put anything that is half full. You gotta empty everything. Your soda cans, your when we come to the plastic, the bottles, all of that has to be absolutely dry. Um, your curbside bin is what is called single stream recycling. When you don't do it correctly and somebody else is doing it correctly, it all gets into the same recycle collection truck, and it gets all dirty, and a lot of that is actually then going to the trash because we're not doing it correctly. And we're not doing it enough. That's the other thing that I learned is I did not put foil, aluminum foil as an example, into the recycle bin curbside, but you just have to cut out the stained portion. So this is me, my Thanksgiving turkey. I had used aluminum foil as a wrapper for marinade. Once it's done, I cut out I washed it, whatever I couldn't wash, I cut it out, I dried it. Rest of it went into my recycling. A year past, this would have all gone into trash. So that's the learning here. No, and this is largely your kitchen stuff, right? So no wires, hangers, scrap metal parts and stuff like that. There is options for that. We'll get to that later. And then the other thing is nothing smaller than 3 inches, because the way these things go into what is called a material recycling facility, or MRF, and those have conveyor belts, they have holes in them, things like that. So if anything smaller, it's going to fall and then going to go into trash. What you can do is you can maybe put that in same material. So if you have a aluminum can and aluminum nails or something, you can put them in the can and close it. But there are other ways to do it, so I don't think you need to read too much about that. But that's the main learning here. Moving on to cardboard and paper. Again, another thing, I used to do this. We knew, most of us know that you can put in cardboard and paper in the curbside bin. What I didn't know is you could actually, and I never put pizza boxes because you hear that they're greasy. Anything stained should not go into the recycle bin. But you can cut it out. You can actually take usually it's the pizza is touching the top of the box. The bottom is generally fine. The sides are generally fine. If you're anal like me, you can actually take the time and cut around the exact greasy spots, but you don't need to. But you can take the bottom and the sides and throw them in the recycle bin. Just every little bit helps. The other thing is, now we're getting into holiday season, and you're going to have boxes coming with packing pillows and foam, or your Amazon envelopes. The envelopes, if they have bubbles in them, some of them do, they're mixed materials. They're paper on the outside, bubbles on the in the lining. Those are not recyclable curbside. They're actually the worst. I don't have it here. I wish I forgot. But there is what I do is collect all these envelopes, and then you can talk to your local UPS store or FedEx, Kinko's, or whatever, and they will take it. They use those for packing the boxes and whatnot. So better than trashing, just collect them, make a trip to the local UPS store, and you can drop them off. The other thing that I learned in this process is, and this is again, this depends on your neighborhood, in my neighborhood, if you leave cardboard boxes outside the recycle bin, a lot of times you'll get a new TV. It's got these styrofoam, packing material in it. You don't want to take it out. You just leave the styrofoam in the box and leave the box outside. Well, they'll pick it up. You come home, it's gone, and it's like, wow, okay, so I did my job, right? Well, unfortunately, what happens is that box is actually being picked by the trash truck that comes after the recycling truck is gone. Now, this may or may not be true in your neighborhood, but I believe it is largely true. In some cases, if you flatten the box and leave it outside, the recycle truck might pick it up. And the reason why this happens is the recycle truck has one person on it. They are only going to do what they can with those mechanical arms and picking up the container. The trash truck typically has a rider in the back, and that person is the one who is picking up all these leftover stuff on the ground. I wish they did, so that I would know that they're not, that this is not the correct thing to do. And I accidentally found this while walking the dog in the morning. So just take a look, see what happens in your neighborhood, and do the right thing there. All right. Glass. So this is a locally specific item. So in the city of Alpharetta, we get 4 separate services, and this is there's a trash service, there's a recycle bin service. This is a third service that we get, where we have a little blue bin, and we can keep empty, clean and dry bottles, only bottles, of whatever color, doesn't matter. So your wine bottles, your beer bottles, your olive oil bottle, all of those go in that little blue bin, and then they'll come pick it up. This is uncommon in Metro Atlanta usually. Most places don't have this. So if you don't have it, there are other options available, and I'll get to that. But if you do have it, then by all means, obviously use it. Glass is the one of the most reusable material, if you will. It's very simple to, glass and metal. It's very simple to melt it down and use it for making new stuff out of it. Plastic is not, and I'll come to that when we get to the plastics in general. But um, that's what it is. So again, check your local listings, if you will. I use Earth 911. That's a good site to check. There is also a recycle engine. I have a couple of links at the end that will help you do your research. No other kind of glass. So, no flat glass, no mirrors, any kind of cooking containers, all that kind of stuff. There are options available for these, but they are in the order of inconvenience, if you will. That's why the curbside, again, it's just the now, never put this in your, if you don't have the service, don't put glass in your bin that you're using for putting cardboard and paper and metal. That's not where that belongs. So that's another thing to remember. All right, plastics. This is probably the most complex product, if you will. And curbside, most curbsides will only take number 1 and number 2 plastic, and it has to be clean and dry. Everything has to be clean and dry, and I'll come to that later. How do you do it and all that kind of stuff. Never put 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in your curbside bin. That's going to go into trash. There are other ways to do it. Don't put your plastic bags, any kind of plastic film bag, product wrappers. You get your toilet paper bundle in Costco, the wrapper around it, stuff like that. Your salad bags, produce bags, none of that. Your newspaper, bag. None of that belongs in the curbside container. And that's actually the most common mistake people do. And that's actually the worst mistake you can do, because what happens is all this plastic, when it gets to that MRF, the MRF, the facility, is going to get caught in the machinery there, and that's going to stop the machines, and that's going to whatever is a lot of it then ends up in trash, along with the material that could be recycled. So if there's one thing you want to do or take away from this, is please don't put any kind of plastic bags, films, any of that in the in your curbside recycle bin. I'm going to take a 1 second pause here to screen capture the attendance, so I can send a $10 gift card only to the Workday attendees. I'll figure that out who's who later. And that's thanks to the giving and doing and giving and green team locally. All right, so yeah, the other thing to remember is this thing called mixed materials. That's the biggest thing, that anytime there's a complex material, the curbside is not the option for that. So you have your soap bottles. A lot of them are number one, number two. So they can be recycled, your curbside shampoo bottles, your, conditioners, things like that. However, the pump cannot, because it will have a spring in it, right? So that needs to be removed. The bottles needs to be washed and dried, and then you can put the caps back on, if there are only caps, like your milk bottle or milk jug, or your orange juice bottle, things like that. A lot of times they are or these days, all of them are made by the same material, but you will only see the stamp on the bottle, not on the cap. So it's better to just leave them together. So the sorting, if there is any kind of complex sorting happening, then it will go together. This is most common. Check your local listings again, but this is if you put 1 and 2 curbside, it's going to be okay. It is very, very rare that any of these things will be accepted curbside. All right, so how do we clean this? So here's a couple of examples of what I do. These are all the photos that you see here are my photos. So like I said, you can clean the soap bottle. Better is, and this is leftover. We don't do this anymore. We use refillable soap. We don't buy these Bath and Body Works type one-time use bottles anymore. But this is through my journey. This is leftover. So and I'm sure you will have it, like not everything can be refillable. So when that happens, the plastic bottle, once it's cleaned and dried, goes into your recycle bin, if it is number 1 and number 2. If it is other numbers, we'll get to that. Here's a good tip here. What I've noticed is Kirkland brand products, or Costco products made by Costco, a lot of them are number 1 and 2. That's something to note. So if you're going to buy something in Costco, a lot of them actually are white label for, so they're actually good products, but white label for, or not branded products, I should say, not good products, branded products that are white label for Costco. So all the steps, by the way, you will actually end up saving money. So that's the other good thing about it. So yeah, so and then that's a lotion bottle there. Cut it up, put it in soap water, use a toothbrush, something like that, clean it, and then once it's dry, you can put the cap back on and put it in your curbside recycle bin, if it is 1 and 2. I see some comments on the chat there that plastic is hard to, and so yeah, I mean, plastic is hard, and here's the reality. Almost all plastic will eventually end up in trash, no matter how much you recycle. So the better thing to do is to reduce using plastic, which is why we switched to refillable ones. And what happens is, why they accept 1 and 2 curbside is that is the most in-demand plastic. That is easier to make other plastic out of it. But anytime you touch a plastic bottle or anything, it has, even if it says it is made from recycled material, there is almost always additional virgin plastic in it. Once the plastic is melted down and you try to make more plastic out of it, it loses its whatever characteristics, and so eventually after 2-3 tries, it all goes into trash. And most of that ends up in the oceans and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so the less plastic you use, the better. It's not going to go away, not in our lifetimes, and plastic saves lives. So I understand that, but do what you can. All right, so curbside. So if you, this is like a cheat sheet, you can, maybe put it on your wall or something like that, that will help you sort of sort things out. But that is all you can do curbside. Some people might be able to do more, some people might be able to do less based on your service provider. All right. And the other thing is, how should your recycle bin look? So the one on the left has a lot of problems with it. Number one, it's got a plastic liner. The last thing you want to do is take all your recycles and put them in a plastic bag and throw it in the recycle bin. You don't want to do that. You shouldn't do that. Leave all recyclables unbagged, like the one on the right side. You can see half empty bottle here. There is a coffee cup. There is plastic wrappers. There is tissues and paper napkins and orange peel, some organic stuff, things like that. Those do not belong um, in a recycle bin. So please make note. And some of these can be recycled and with other options that I'm coming up soon here on. Others cannot. All right, so moving on, the next option is grocery stores, and I prefer Publix just to keep things simple, and I'll get to that. But there are, because Publix, in my experience, accepts most things or more things than a Kroger or Walmart. So that's why I prefer Publix. So what can you do at Publix? So these are some pictures of, this is the Publix bin that you see typically outside Publix. This is Kroger. I know it's hard to read, but you can probably, once you get the deck, you can look at that. I only drop off plastic bags that have, this symbol. This is new. This is starting to come up now. Or your grocery bags. Again, preferably use a reusable bag. But you will have plastic bags, and so that's what I drop in Publix. I have this trash container sitting out in my garage where we just stuff everything. All plastic bags that we're going to take to Publix, they go in there. It's just basically grocery bags only. And then once in a while, once it's full, and there is a line that I put a garbage bag and then put everything in there. The garbage bag is there just to take it out, transport it to Publix. At Publix, I will take the individual bags out of my garbage bag, and I'll put them in the Publix bin, and then I bring my garbage bag home and use it again. So that's sort of my process. You guys are welcome to figure out your process, but I'm not going to make too many trips to Publix. I don't shop at Publix, incidentally, other than sometimes we're a Kroger or Walmart family, but I do use Publix for their recycling. Hi. What else you can do at Publix is styrofoam, very specific kind of styrofoam, not your packing styrofoam. So you bought a TV, it came with a styrofoam packaging, that's not going to go to Publix. And I made that mistake. I thought styrofoam is styrofoam, but apparently it's not. So what you want to do is only, and again, this is a picture, you can do your egg cartons, you can do your carry out containers, your soda cups, things like that. They need to be clean and stain free and dry. So what I do when we are getting carry out, as soon as I get it home, I immediately put it in a reusable plastic Tupperware, so that the time that the food is left in the styrofoam container is less, and therefore less staining, and I wash it immediately. Or this is not something you can throw in dishwasher, unfortunately. You'll have to wash it by hand. It does not take that much time to rinse it if you do it quickly. um, it depends on the food, obviously, but if it is stained, you don't want to take it to Publix. So that will ruin the other recyclables, trash it. But if it is clean, you can. Then I cut it up and I stack them up in this box. So this is my original garbage bin that I used to use. Now it is holding my Publix foam, and I just stack it up. Again, there is a garbage bag liner. I put all the this foam in there, and then once it's full, I take it out. Sometimes even if it's full, it's in garbage bag. I'll just store it. I don't want to make a trip to Publix. I'll just store it. When there is other material that goes to Publix, then I'll take all of the garbage bags together, go to Publix, take the stuff out of garbage bags, put them in the Publix bin, and bring my bags home. That kind of thing. So um, the again, this is Georgia specific. I don't know if other public stores in other parts of the country do this or not. I would think so. I would hope so. But you can do certain things in Walmart and Kroger also. Moving on to the third thing. Now, this is very, very Atlanta specific. There is a place called Center for Hard to Recycle Materials, CHARM. This is, and depending on where you live, your counties and cities will have something similar. So I know Roswell, close to where I live, has a recycling facility. It used to be open for the Alpharetta residents. During COVID times, they shut it down. They're now restricting only to Roswell residents. There is a facility in Sandy Springs for, I guess, for Fulton residents. I know there is in Gwinnett, there is in Forsyth. They don't take as many materials or as much material as CHARM does. But if it is closer to you, then by all means use that, and that saves you a trip to CHARM. On the other hand, if you live close to CHARM in downtown, then obviously that's your best resort. This ladder here is based on my location, how far things are for me, and then there is a cost aspect to this also. So that's how I've ordered them. This is what I do, based on what's convenient to me and what's close by, what's free, and by free I mean both time, money, fuel cost, all of those kind of things, right? So that's how this goes. Your ladder might look different based on your location and the resources that are available to you. So always please keep that in mind. So what is CHARM? CHARM is here. There's a link there. There's a QR code, all that kind of stuff. So you can figure it out. I have a map up here. This is pretty cool. I don't know. It's like a city block that they've set up for collecting all kinds of stuff. A very, very large number of materials are accepted, including items like appliances. They take, your electronics. They take oil, paint, all kinds of stuff that it's flat glass. It's amazing what they do right now. And my experience is last 3-4 months. So maybe they did this without any kind of appointments before, but I suspect this is a COVID thing. That right now you have to make an appointment. And this is not like your doctor's appointment where you have to show up exactly at that time. This is mainly for crowd control. So if you book a time for 12:30 on Tuesday and end up there at 1 o'clock, they're not going to turn you around. It is once you see the facility, you'll understand there's a lot of a log jam bit of a log jam that can happen there. So again, everything has to be clean, sorted, and dry. So that is always going to be there. Moving on, we're doing pretty good on time, hopefully. So this is a picture of how CHARM looks, and this is why I said you can see it's like a cul-de-sac here that you have to go in a loop. It's like your airport drop off or something like that. People are going in, people are coming out, so therefore they're trying to control the number of people. They have all these different stations where you can drop off all kinds of material. The list is far more extensive than what you see here. Go on their website, take a look. You can also use Earth 911, and it will tell you what CHARM accepts also. So the list is significantly larger than what you see here. If depending on where you live, it's maybe very convenient. It may not be. What I do is collect everything I can in at home and then make a trip. So far, I've made 2 trips in last 4 months. So looks like maybe every other month or so I make a trip, just pack everything in my car and go there. And in my case, last time my daughter is a tech graduate. She's got friends, so she was going to meet them. So like, well, why don't you take this? And she went and did that. I'm trying to work with my neighbors, asking them to join. so we can take turns, carpool, take more stuff out there. So that's something that you can maybe put it on your neighborhood Facebook, something like that, and get more people involved. Hopefully we all can start doing more. So the way I do this is I've got these trash cans. I went from one large trash can to one small trash can, but I do have several trash cans, as you can see in my garage. They just don't have trash anymore. What they have is these numbered items and things like that. So as you can imagine, all the plastic 4, 5, 6, once they're clean, they go in clean and dry. They go in there. I have everything is lined with garbage bags. I take them out, pack them in the car, go down to Charm, and put everything in their bins, and then bring my bags back, and the cycle starts all over again. This is interesting. I didn't know. I mean, we try to donate as many clothes as possible, but you will have socks with holes. What do you do with them, right? So these guys will take that. They will take unusable clothes that I'm guessing they get shredded and used as packaging or something like that, right? So they will take that, which is again better than trashing. Um, so how does this work? So uh, this is my daughter's car. The last time she went to Charm, you can see there's a bag of plastic number 5. I think I bought something. I don't remember what it was, but this is the packing material. I stored it in the garage for a period. This is the new orange, hefty orange bag, green energy bag program. That's my next segment. I'll come to that, but let me back up a slide here. So this is one of the drop off points for those bags, and that's why they're in my daughter's car here. Again, plastic number 6 goes here. I also have this flat glass that I had some window pane that was broken. I kept it in a bin, in a paper bag, like a sandwich bag, and then took that to the to Charm. Old coffee maker stopped working. In the past, I would not know what to do with it. I would feel bad about it, and I would trash it. Now I would take it to Charm. I just replaced a couple of outlets switches in the house. They're sitting in this box right now. Next trip they'll go to Charm. It was interesting. I could pretty much recycle everything when I did this, replacing these with newer, those flat switches that again in the past I would probably only recycle the cardboard, or the instructions and the box and stuff like that. But with this, I pretty much recycled everything from this repair. Home Depot will take your bulbs, so this is not going to Charm. Home Depot will take your broken bulbs. Batteries, Charms will take batteries. I don't know if once we are back in the office, some of this advantage that we Workday folks have is that some of this stuff, not the bulbs, but the some of this electronic stuff. Our office has a box. Jonathan Music has a box that you can put stuff in it once we are in the offices. So that is about Charm. Hefty is the next stop, which is a new program. It just started. There's a small fee. You can get these bags in Kroger, about roll of 8 gallon bags for I think about $8. 20 bags for $8. Sorry, 8 gallon bags. And then you can, depending on where you live, so if you're in Cobb County, you can actually do this curbside. I in Fulton cannot. Other places cannot. Nobody else is doing this curbside, so I have to take it to Charm. This is all the stuff that you can put in the hefty bag and take it with you. So all your salad bags, all the plastic stuff that I said, please don't put in your curbside bin, right? The product wraps, the plastic bag, your kids eat cheese sticks, those, your the produce bags that you pick up, things like that. All of those, I will take them to Charm through Hefty. The ones that I've crossed out, you can take them, you can put them in Hefty and take them, but I do this. So the green ones are accepted directly by Charm. So why add cost? I want to use my bags judiciously, even though they're not that expensive. I'm frugal. So I'm going to use Charm directly rather than putting it in the hefty bag. And then the same thing for the ones that I've crossed out in red, they go to Publix first, and then everything else. And obviously, I mean, we try to refuse. So like plastic utensils, don't use them. When you go to some carry-out place or something, tell them I don't need them because everybody has silverware at home. So you can do those things to reduce, and I have a couple of slides on how to do reduce. This is not a true recycling. Just to be very clear, they actually right now they send some of this over to a cement factory in Georgia that is using this in replacing coal burning with this. So it is somewhat better. And in some cases, they will make paraffin lamps out of it, like for burning. The hope is that if more people catch on, more stuff starts getting together, then they will have other means, of disposing it off better. So it's about changing habits right now, than more so than actual recycling. All right, so this is how I maximize my hefty bag. Again, I'm frugal, so I put everything, I weigh it down. This is old picture. I don't do this anymore. This is a Amazon Prime package. I will now take this to UPS store rather than sending it through hefty. But yeah, I mean, these bags will, even though they look small, they'll last you if you all you're doing is basically plastic film and things like that. Um, so how long does it take to clean all this? I know that's on everybody's mind. So I actually time this. I'm a numbers kind of person. I like to track everything, and I'm not doing it unless it's worthwhile. So this is weeks worth of plastic. You can see there's salad bags. There is microwavable meals, the wrapper on that. There's these are bags inside the salad bag, the dressing and other stuff, things like that. Some candy wrappers, which I will explain where they go later. This is not just hefty. This is all plastic. There's a styrofoam tray here that will go to Publix, things like that, right? So we just have a box. We just collect everything there, and then once a week, if it's too much, twice a week, something like that, I'll go wash everything, and which I did, and then this is just you can see it took me about 20 minutes to do this. And you're not cleaning this squeaky clean to the point where you can eat off that plate again, right? This just needs to be reasonably clean. There are no food residue, stuff like that. Just stop your sink with a stopper, or use a bucket of water, put all the stuff in it, rinse it out, and that's all that is. You don't even need to rinse the soap butter out. That's okay. So just make sure all the food goes out. That goes for your plastic container. Some you can put in your dishwasher, especially if you're not using any kind of heating element in the dishwasher. But that's what I do. I've got this little clothesline in my spare shower that we don't use, so all the plastic bags are hanging there. This 20 minutes include this, by the way. It's everything. It literally took me 20 minutes to wash everything, go hang, and then stop this stopwatch, right? So that is what you're looking at to get to this level, and then just leave it overnight. And the next day, it takes less than 5 minutes to sort it out. This is number 5 plastic that's going to go to Charm. This is foam for Publix. This is number 1, like a blueberry container. I think it's going to go to curbside. This is all the plastic bags. I stuffed them back in the salad bags, and that's going to go to hefty. And this is all the other stuff. That's the next item that I'm going to talk about. This, unfortunately, is all this little stuff cannot be recycled using any of the 4 different options that we have gone through so far. So that's what it takes, about five for a week, about 20 minutes of time. I see some comment there that Home Depot will take batteries. So please check. I believe they only take rechargeable batteries. And that's there is a difference. So Best Buy, these stores, a lot of times they will only take rechargeable batteries, not the standard AAA, alkaline batteries. But yeah, please check. Things change. That's the other thing. Not only it's local, it changes. Um, all right. So the last thing is TerraCycle. So this is expensive. It's not cheap. But there are other options also within TerraCycle. So who is TerraCycle? So TerraCycle is a company that recently, and I'm saying I started using recently. They've been probably around for 2-3 years or something like that. They have these paid boxes. So you get a box, it's pre-labeled, all that. You put whatever, no in our no organic stuff, so no, like, your green stuff, your kitchen scraps, all that kind of stuff. But you can put pretty much anything that you want and they'll figure it out. There is a debate, because they're very secretive about their process. So there is a question, and there is actually a pending lawsuit that with them, that what do you guys do. They do have a lot of free programs also, where they are partnering with various manufacturers. So so for example, your toothpaste. So they have a program with Colgate where you can send your toothpaste in a box that's free, and they'll forward it to Colgate, and Colgate will recycle that for you. Now, by the way, Colgate has come out with a fully recyclable toothpaste that you get in Costco. So next time you're in Costco looking for toothpaste, buy smart, buy that, as opposed to something that's not recyclable. But anyway, so yeah, so go on TerraCycle's website, take a look. There are lots of free boxes. This one I use is a medium size, recycle everything you can, and I use it for really as a last resort. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. So, like, my wife ran out of lipstick. I honestly don't know what to do with that lipstick tube. Right, that's what's going in this. I've been using it for about 3 months now, and you can see with the yardstick and all that it's pretty tall. I mean, it says medium, but it's actually pretty tall. And I've filled about halfway in the box, and these are mostly little things. You can see there's a mesh, there's a your Mio water drops, stuff like that, right? These are small, and the only reason I put this there is because I couldn't read the number on it. So any any plastic that is not numbered, or I can't read it, I'm getting old here, so I will put that in this box. My yogurt cups go into Charm, but the lining, the cover, right? Those are all silver foil linings. Candy wrappers, potato chip bags, anything that is silver foil lining, that's generally mixed material, and that's what I put in there. So I can actually compress this down, and I will, like I do with my hefty bag. I just haven't had the reason to do it because I'm still filling it up. So I expect this box to last me for 6 to 8 months easily, with all the stuff that I'm doing. So this is what is typical waste, right? Everyday waste kind of thing. In addition to that, you will have, I showed bulbs and batteries, but you'll have aerosol cans, paints, appliances, stuff like that. For those, you typically want to check local listings for your city or county recycling events, and then store those, take, paint, stuff like that. It was harder during COVID times. Hopefully it is changing now. More such events will happen, and hopefully we can all do more. All right, so that is, so I've got a quick recap here, and this is a cheat sheet that I use. You are welcome to look at this and modify this to make it your list, local list, if you will. This is based on my location, what is available. This is in the order of inconvenience. Actually, technically, this is super convenient, but it's also super expensive. So it is in the order of expense and convenience, and that's what I do. That this is sort of, and it took me some time to get to this system. So the clothesline in my shower was my third attempt to get the plastic bags dry without dripping everywhere on the floor, or the dog going and sniffing the bags, and guests coming and stuff like that. So I eventually ended up, first stop was put everything on the fridge because that's where the magnets are, and that didn't work out very well. Then things like that. So you're gonna have to come up with your own system that works for your household, but that's sort of the idea there. Here is again a list. We went over this, just a quick, if you're going to print a couple of pages and hang them, do these pages. This is, I talked about charms. There are local recycling centers, like I mentioned, Sandy Springs and Forsyth. Gwinnett has some things like that. These are a couple of search engines that you can use. So that is all about recycling. I'm going to shift gears here and talk about reuse. So recycling is great, but if you could reuse, like we started doing with the soap bottles, for example, then that's even better. You're generating less waste to begin with. So the way I met these green cell guys, and we do a lot more than this. For example, we do food rescue, which helps both the poor and hungry, but also helps the environment because you're taking food trash out of the landfill. So one of the programs that the way I got introduced to them is through this thing, what we call, it's a reusable utensils for loan. It's free. There's no cost to it. You just have to text this number. Next time you have a party, if you have small gathering, 5-6 people, I suggest use your regular household Tupperware, or your Corelle plate, stuff like that, rather than using disposables. If you have larger gathering, like we just had a Diwali party at home, about 60 guests, it was done in a zero trash manner because of these utensils. So there's two sets. There is and we are working on getting a Corelle dinnerware kind of nicer set. But that's the you can get a steel plates, or you can get these melamine ones. I use this for my summer barbecue. Things like that, water container instead of having disposable water bottles. This will reduce trash significantly. I recommend go look up Green Cell ATL, and look at, they've actually published the metrics on how much trash they have reduced as a result. Next up is rethink. So recycle, reuse, and then rethink. Some things, some decisions, like I just gave you a couple of examples that instead of using one-time use soap bottles, use refillable ones, right? You're going to reduce trash like that. There are other things like that that you may not have thought about. Perfect example, right? You're buying a bag of onions, buy them individually, bring your own bag, right? And then that way you're not creating this additional waste here. Aerosol cans are one of the worst food container, I guess. Is very, very difficult to recycle them. So use the tub. I mean, it's plastic, but it is possible to recycle this. Same thing with juice bottles. This is also another very complex material. It looks, this Tetra Pak, it looks like it's cardboard. It's not. It's paper. It's plastic. It's got a silver or foil, aluminum foil lining to it. It's like a very complex material, impossible to recycle. Use same product you will probably get in a plastic bottle. Better to use that. Obviously we love our Workday bottles and Workday coffee cups in this household. We don't use the disposable water. You can keep this in your car too. I used to do this. This is again, it's a change of habit, right? I always use this. As long as I work for Workday, I've used this my Workday. I think this is like from the first launched kickoff, whatever it was called, lift-off training. I've used it for 7 years, but I always kept a disposable bottle in my car. Why? I have no idea, right? Why not put, you don't have to use this. There are plenty of refillable water bottles. Put, one of those in the car and not put a, disposable bottle in the car. Use grocery bags. Don't use, reusable grocery bags. Don't use the plastic bags. If you forget these reusable bags, which I do, I just tell them don't bag it. Just put everything in the cart just the way it is, and then I put it in my car. I bring home, and at home I use these bags to put everything in and to bring it from inside from the car, right? I also found these cute little pouches. They expand into bags on Amazon, and I leave one in my pocket. So if I'm going somewhere and I really need a bag, I have one. But yeah, I mean, just use reusable bags, or just say no to bags. Um, Paper towels. Paper towels are frowned upon in the Desai establishment now. We actually hide them in a cupboard, and then there is these towels out there, just stack of towels. Just use towels. People will ask, "Oh, what about all this water being used for washing everything?" And it doesn't take that much more water, right? Like I said in the beginning, I'm frugal, so I have checked my water bill, and it hasn't gone up. So the amount of water that I'm using, with even with all this washing, is not gone up. And from a sustainability perspective, water is a sustainable resource. It just comes back. I mean, it's not something that is going to go into landfill or generate carbon footprint or anything like that. So yeah, it is a sustainable, reusable resource. So by all means, use water and wash rather than a paper towel. I see Purva's comment about compostable. Yes, so compostable paper towels are good if you compost, right? So our Diwali party, for example, we did use compostable towels, paper towels, and we do compost. So yes, so that's the. A lot of times you'll see, like, you go to Chipotle, you get a container that's compostable. Great, but do you compost? And I will have a little intro slide on that towards the end. Tissues, again, another thing that we stopped using. I have allergies. I have incredible allergies. My son has incredible allergies. We just use handkerchiefs and these baby wipes that I used to use when my kids were little. They're back in the house now. Just have a stack of them. I have a few in my pocket, and they go in the laundry, and it hardly takes any time. We stopped using Swiffer with these, dry, whatever the static cleaning towels that they had. Microfiber towel just works equally well. If it doesn't work, throw it in your dryer for a little bit. It'll catch sufficient static, and then you run it on your floor. Pretty much does the same thing that Swiffer does. So you save money. That's the other thing. You do these things, you will actually end up saving money. I don't remember now when we bought paper products from Costco. And then you don't have to worry about most of these supply chain issues either. This is another thing that it's again, it's only available in certain areas. This is a yard waste bag if it is available to you as a separate service. So my service here in city of Alpharetta, we get 4 trucks. We get trash truck, we get recycle bin, we get glass recycling, and we get a yard waste truck. That's a separate truck that comes first thing in the morning. If you are not composting, at least and again, this is one of the things that I was not doing. When I would do some work in the yard, I would take everything, put it in this bag, and leave it out. But I didn't ask my lawn service to do this. Why? I have no idea. So now I ask them, and they do that, and then that goes into city's compost facility. But only if you have a separate service. If you don't have a separate service, you're better off composting. So and then always keep a box. This is from my holiday lights. I have no idea what to do with this, so I'm not throwing it just yet. I'm going to see what I can do with it, do some research. So always maintain a box of what can I where can I recycle this. um, Last thing, I did not touch organic recycling, and that's essentially a different way of looking at composting. You don't have to be a gardener in order to compost. And the reason to compost is this is my organic versus inorganic trash for a week. Again, I'm a numbers guy. I measure everything. EPA says that most households have 21% organic waste. My household has 72 ounce versus 52. It's about 60% of our waste is organic waste. This cannot be recycled. It can be composted, but otherwise it's going into trash. So if you're going to do one thing, I would suggest actually don't do recycling, go for composting. That's your big bang for the buck, so to speak. Now, composting is dirty, it's stinky, you get snakes, you get maggots, you get pests, rodents, all that kind of stuff. Doesn't have to be. There are other ways to do that, and this is where I have started using something called Bokashi composting method. I am not going to go into the detail here because I actually have a Bokashi composting webinar coming up next Sunday, not this Sunday, but the Sunday after. And I ask you guys to please join if you can. It takes me less than 10 minutes. I actually did this live. I had my neighbors yesterday over and we went through the same deck, and I did a live demo of Bokashi for them. It took less than 5 minutes to do this on a weekly basis. And then every 3 or 4 weeks, there is an extra step that takes a little bit time, about 30 minutes but that is all it takes. No smell, no pests, no maggots, no rodents or snakes or anything like that. So it is very, very easy. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. It's as simple as that. So please join me on that Sunday. And I apologize. I wanted to cover everything I could. I'm now going to stay on. If you have time, have questions, I will be available. So I'm going to stop, and we have about a minute in the scheduled time. Any questions I can answer?
Vijay, this is Raghu. I just have one question. I don't think it was addressed. I don't know if it was addressed. It's, you have that green or blue recycle bin that the county gives us.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to bag the recycle in a plastic and then put it in, or are we supposed to just drop the recycle in directly?
You have to put everything directly. There is no bagging. Yeah, I mentioned this on one of the slides, and I apologize. So when you go through this deck again at your convenience, you will see that I went really fast. So I'm sure a lot of people.
I saw that you had your own bins, and you said do not bag it. That's why.
Yes. So those bins, again, those are because I'm taking them to different places. It's just more convenient to take them in a bag. But once I get there, I take stuff out of the bag. So when I'm taking stuff to Charm, it'll be difficult to take individual items. So I bag them. When I get to Charm, I take the individual items out, put them in the Charm bins, and bring my bags back home. For my curbside recycling, there is no bagging. I just put everything directly in the curbside bin.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yep. Anything else I can answer?
Hey, Vijay, it's Denise.
Hey,
the Hefty.
Yeah.
Where did you drop those? What do you do with the Hefty bags again?
Yes.
Sorry, I missed that.
No, that's fine. No worries. So Hefty, if you live in Cobb County, you can put them in your curbside recycling. For those of us who do not live in Cobb County, you have to take them to Charm. And it's there on one of the slides. You will see that. Yeah, and you can buy them in Kroger. It is difficult to find them, so I suggest use the Kroger app and make sure that they have inventory before you go there. And even when you go there, they're kind of hidden behind. They're new, not much demand, whatever. So you got to look for it. So I suggest use the Kroger app to find the Kroger near you which carries it. Your regular Kroger may not have it.
Okay. Thank you. I was looking as you were talking on the Charm City of Atlanta website, and I don't see anything about Hefty on here at all.
So let me go back to my Hefty slide here, and I am new to Google Slides, so I don't know how to jump directly back. So bear with me as I.
You did a great job on your presentation to say you're not used to Google Slides. It's awesome.
This is, by the way, my daughter's work. My slides
Oh,
are
yeah.
horrible. She looked at it and she's like, "This is bad. You don't have to do slides. I will take care of it." So, so she did this
Great.
yesterday. So she's in pre-sales, which is why she's in pre-sales. So yeah. So this is there is a map here somewhere. Sorry, let me go back.
If you
There
can't
it
get
is.
to
Yeah.
it, it's
So
fine. You
no,
can
right
share it.
here,
Okay.
right here, Denise. So yeah, it's this H
Oh,
here.
the H.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. It's the last station in Charm
Okay.
that you can drop off. Yep.
So when you go through the map, when you're at the facility, you're actually dropping off the items at each
Yes.
little drop point.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yep,
Very
yep,
cool.
yep,
Okay.
yep,
Thank
yep,
you.
yep,
Thank you.
yep. Anything else? Anybody else? Any other questions? Okay.
I don't have questions. I just want to say thank you for all of this information. Like I'm moving to the Atlanta area in a couple of months, and I've been looking at all like green stuff, and
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed with what I found on the internet, but this is great.
Yeah, and this is unfortunately the reality, right? It's very, very local. So we have some neighbors, they moved from elsewhere, so they continue to do what they did wherever they lived before, right? I mean, if I move from Alpharetta to Johns Creek, and if I continue to practice what I'm doing, well, in my case, it will probably work because I'm doing sort of the minimum that every curbside offers. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, otherwise, a lot of their effort is actually wasted because what used to work somewhere else will not work at the new location. So you always have to check your local situation.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Anybody else? Please join the composting seminar, webinar, whatever, in next Sunday. And I will publish this link. It's on Google. It's published. It's publicly available. I will put it on the Slack channel. I'll send an email to the people who attended, and I really appreciate your time. If you have any questions, email, Slack, whatever works for you. All right.
Thank you. This
Thank
is so
you.
great.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks. Have a great
Bye.
weekend.
Take
Thanks.
care.
Bye. Bye.